Have you ever watched football and you see a bad call on the field that everyone is just confused about or upset with? An example of this is back in 2002. The New England Patriots faced the Oakland Raiders in the divisional round of the playoffs, where Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was sacked by Charles Woodson and he forced a fumble, which would have ended the game, but they took it under review and changed the ruling on the field because of the tuck rule. There are numerous more rules that are questionable that are still in the rules. Also, there are protocols that have put players' safety in jeopardy. How can this relate to you? Say that you are driving down the street, and the next thing you know, another car just pulls out in front of you. Everyone knows that it was the other person's fault, but the insurance says it's your fault, and your insurance rates go up. It may be a little over exaggerated, but this is very similar to a bad call in the NFL. Why should people listen? People should listen because the NFL is one of, if not the most popular league in the NFL in the world. If they continue to make these bad calls, people will stop watching it or even threaten the other teams or ref for said bad call. How does it relate to me? Personally, I'm tired of watching these soft calls where I'm trying to enjoy the sport that I have loved for years. The research I've done is I have seen these bad calls happen in front of my eyes. Also, multiple NFL players and coaches have been open about these bad calls. What I will be talking about is first, I will describe how the NFL has many flaws. Second, I will examine how the rules making these games unwatchable for most fans. Third, I will discuss how the NFL protocols have put players in jeopardy. The NFL has many flaws, like their ways of punishing players. For example, Calvin Ridley gets suspended for a year for gambling, but yet Deshaun Watson gets suspended for 11 games and has to pay $5 million for allegedly sexually assaulting 24 women. Also, players can get suspended for taking certain substances and can get suspended indefinitely even if the substance is legal in the state they are living in. Like Martavis Bryant, who was suspended twice indefinitely for taking said substance. They can also get suspended for penalties like unnecessary roughness, like when Packers defensive end Charles Martin slammed Bears quarterback Jim McMahon and got suspended for 2 games. There have also been more than 250 suspensions since 2001 because of substance abuse. Yet, NFL also has a lot of unnecessary rules. For example, the NFL has flagged and fined players for celebrating a certain way. Like if a player dunks on the goalpost, that's a flag and a fine. An example of when this happens is like when Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs got fined $12,500 for dunking on the goalpost. An example of a bad call is whenever the New Orleans Saints faced against the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship of 2018. When it was near the end of the fourth quarter and the Saints passed it to Tommy Lee Lewis, who was hit by the nickel Roby Coleman before the ball got there, but there was no flag for pass interference. If they would have gotten the flag, the Saints would have got a first down and be able to run the clock down and kick the game winner. But instead, they had to kick it there, and the Rams went down and tied the game, then kicked the game winner in overtime. Even the cornerback says it was pass interference. The NFL could also improve their concussion protocols because when Tua Tagovailoa was hit in Week 3, he seemed concussed. Even though it was reportedly a back injury, most people think he should have not returned to that game. Then in week 4, when they faced the Cincinnati Bengals, he got slammed and he definitely had a concussion to where his hands were making weird shapes. Dr. Bennett Amula, who discovered CTE, thinks he should retire because he suffered permanent brain damage, according to him. According to the NFL, all protocols were followed when evaluating Tua Tagovailoa, but they didn't help protect the player because he should have been taken out just because he couldn't walk without assistance. They have since changed it to where if a player shows any signs of concussion, they cannot return to the game. So, in conclusion, the NFL has punished some players harder than others, even though the other player can do something morally worse. The NFL needs to change some of their rules and execute said rules better, and the NFL needs to review their protocols, mainly in the concussion protocol. Yes, the NFL is a great league, one of the best, if not the best, league in the world. But that does not mean they're perfect. In fact, it seems like it's getting worse and worse. There has to be change before they ruin the sport that many people, including myself, love.